Hello and welcome to a live recording of Pat Bear's Anime Club. This is Pat Bear's Anime Club episode 23 here on twitch.tv/Pat Bear. We'll get through a little bit of this here. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote into chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw those back to me. We're going to wait a few minutes, see if a few more folks want to join us. For this stream, but this is a live recording. Folks that are watching this on YouTube, I have a Twitch stream. You might not even know that if you just follow for the anime content for Pat Bear's Anime Club. You might not know that this is a thing that I do. Aristophan is here. Hello. This is a thing, that I stream all the time, and I do a bonus stream. And I was thinking about this episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club, which was I slotted to be the episode where I talk about the shows I'm currently watching, because we're now all the shows that were off that went on hiatus last season. Almost all of them are back. All the ones we're expecting to be back in the summer season, and there's been at least 3 episodes of basically every show, I believe, has had at least 3 episodes so far. So we're able to kind of look at them now, and we can kind of think about them. Hi, dude, what's his rug? Hello. We can kind of look at what's come out. So if you're watching this on YouTube, this is a bonus thing that I like to do. Most of the time I play games. I've done something like this before where I think I did a roundup, and that should have been for Pat Bear's Anime Club and wasn't. So now I'm kind of doing both. And in fact, if you go to my YouTube and you look in the Bearing the List playlist, I actually made a top 10 anime betrayals list. I ranked a bunch of betrayals in anime, very well-known ones. In my top 10s there. Just so it's anime week here, I guess, all over the place. But yeah, hopefully a few more folks will join us. If they don't, that's okay. And that's fine, because people are going to watch this on YouTube anyway, so maybe they're not necessarily here for the live stream version. That's also okay. As well, in chat, folks in chat, feel free to ask questions at any time about stuff. If there's a show that you have a question about, you can let me know. If I'm talking about a show, you can be like, "Hey, wait, what's that show about?" And I'll do my best to answer. Okay, I think we're about ready to start. But yeah, this is all going to be included in the archival thing. So Pat Bear's Anime Club, if you don't know, Anime Week 2020, indeed. So if you don't know, thank you, Chihuahua Pugs. If you don't know what Pat Bear's Anime Club is, I'll give you a brief explanation. Pat Bear's Anime Club is a chance for me to have a long-form discussion about anime, and I do a video every other Monday. So it's to explore topics. Maybe I'll use some history stuff. Maybe I'll explain, there's an explainer about what isekai is and the evolution of isekai from the traditional to the modern to the postmodern versions of isekai. Or I'll talk about, I did an episode on Halloween about, I watched a horror anime. I don't watch horror anime, but I watched one. And then I talked about ones that are not spooky, but also fit the theme. That maybe are about witches, but are chill, as something that people could watch if that's something they want to do. Because I want you to have options. Today we are talking about the summer season, which is weird. We'll get into it. I'm going to have an illustration. We'll be using Annie chart. Which is tied into my anime list and Annie list. It is a great resource to be able to find anime out there and track anime. Also, if you're curious about Chinese animation, they also list the schedule of when that comes out, which doesn't really help me because none of that is currently being subbed anywhere. So it's not something you'd watch. Occasionally, some of these shows end up on YouTube with somewhat good English translations, kind of. There's one about esports and a guy who was forced to retire, coming back on his own. I forget the name, unfortunately. I apologize. That was actually pretty good. That like Tencent owns the company that made it, because of course, so you had to imagine. But yeah, so we're gonna look at some of the shows I'm currently watching now. Um, I'll talk about why I'm not watching some other ones that are out, because there are some ongoings. And we'll go in. We'll take a look there. So we're going to use Annie chart. We'll go to that now. So this is Annie chart here. Oh, Lord Stockton just subscribed with Twitch Prime. That's for 9 months. Thank you very much, Lord Stockton. Appreciate that. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave Lego, the site, the moat. If you're watching this and you haven't been to one of my streams, this will be weird for you. I imagine there's some people that search for anime content on YouTube that might follow me for that, but not follow me for my model kit building and game playing streams. I'm sure you exist out there. So for you, some of this might be a little weird. But okay, so this is Annie Chart. They do great work. I really appreciate this. So this is when you go and you click on airing, because honestly, a lot of times people are going to click on summer, right? They're going to hit summer 2020. They're going to see all the shows that come out. They're going to sort by next airing or title or popularity. Maybe you want to know who do the people that use AnyChart, what are their shows they're really into? Well, they're really into ReZero. And apparently they're also into God of High School and Fire Force. And you can click over, you highlight that. It shows you, hey, Fire Force, you can watch that on Crunchyroll. You can watch that on Funimation. You can watch that on Verve. That's cool. That you got a lot of options. Rent a Girlfriend, you're just going to watch that on Crunchyroll. That's okay. Like it'll show you stuff. High Dive, you can watch, or Crunchyroll. You can watch my teen comedy romantic snafu. Of course, you can also just watch that with Verve. A lot of options there. Decadence. Well, you can watch that on Hulu, and you can watch that on Funimation. So you got some options there. Their rankings are not similar to my own, because one of my favorite shows this season, we'll get to it, is at 66% or 6 right now, and I would disagree with that percentage. I think that's a shame. Anyway, so we're not going to use summer, because here's the thing. They're not going to talk about the shows that have returned. They're not going to talk about ongoing shows when you click on summer. This is just the new stuff. New episodes of things. Occasionally they will deal with season stuff. They don't deal with like shows like Black Clover. Black Clover is not going to be anywhere in here. This is really good for if you're doing something, and of course I mentioned this in my last video for Pepe's Anime Club, but if you're going to be looking at like the fall season. We don't know exactly what's coming out in October. We have a good idea. Like we're getting more of Haikyuu. Hell yeah, we are. We are getting the remake of Higurashi, When They Cry. That's coming out, the remake of that show. And if they know who's getting the show, they will include that information. Oftentimes we'll find information other places of like, well, we know that like Crunchyroll's probably going to get Golden Kamuy. Crunchyroll's probably going to get Haikyuu. But maybe Funimation's going to get that. We don't know who's going to get, some of these shows. And so we're getting kind of an idea of that. Like, I would have said that Crunchyroll is probably going to get Season 2 of Irregular at Magic School. But Funimation recently got the rights to air that as well. So that might be because they're getting Season 2. Or it might be that both of them are going to get Season 2. I don't know. So that's really good and really helpful for that. Yes. Jared says, Higurashi is coming out because I want to hate myself again. So, When They Cry, I would say I'm probably not going to watch. I'm going to be happy for my friends who are excited about that. Oh, here is Irregular at Magic School. No listing on where that's going to be. Romance sci-fi. Apparently they're upping the romance in that show by categorizing it as romance. I would call it fantasy sci-fi, but that's just me. But we're going to talk about what's out, what's airing, what's on right now. And to make our lives a little easier, so this is good if you just know what the show is and you're not worried about learning anything more. You just want to know, hey, when does Black Clover air? hey, when can I watch Diary of Their Days at the Breakwater? Well, what you want to do, for me anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the view. Boom! Now it's broadened out a little bit. Now, all of the shows we're looking at right here, these are shows that come out and air and what time they air in Japan. And if they're available, you can find it. So you can see here, Nitama Rantaru is not available anywhere. Apparently, they don't even have a Twitter account or they don't know about the Twitter account. But yeah, so they're going to tell you where you can find it. If it's available, this is for the United States because that is the region that I have said that I'm in. I'm looking for English names of shows if those are available because that's just easier for me to find because Crunchyroll and Funimation list them in English and Hulu. I don't use Hulu right now. I'm using Crunchyroll and Funimation as my two sources because sometimes Hulu gets the stuff that Funimation gets, but sometimes they don't. Like Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater, you have to have Funimation where I am at to watch that, or Annie Labs, which is like New Zealand and the UK and Australia, and they often get shows that Hulu would get otherwise. A little bit. All right, so we're gonna start with Tuesday. We're gonna go day by day and talk about the shows that I'm watching, and I'll talk about the ones and what I like about them. I'm not watching Shadowverse. I've never played the game, and I probably don't want to watch an anime based on that video game if I've never played the game. There are obviously exceptions to that, but right now, that's not something I'm interested in. Nintama, not available. I'm not watching that. Black Clover. I'm watching Black Clover. And here's the thing about Black Clover, if I may. If I can tell you about Black Clover, just for a second. I understand why. It's over 100 episodes. It's a shonen. That's already going to be tough for some people. But the thing I want to let you know is they just started within the last like 3, 4, 5 episodes because there was a hiatus. They took a hiatus during the spring. This is their first filler arc because they hadn't caught up to the manga. They were getting caught up to the manga. So now they're doing a filler arc. But the filler arc is basically instead of a time skip. Now, folks know about time skips. They happen a lot in shonen. You need to power up everybody. You don't have the time for that because the boss, the next big bad, they got to be stronger to fight them. So they train and whatever, and then you see what the results of that. And apparently, nobody who is evil ever gets stronger during that time. They stay the same, and heroes rise to the occasion. That's just how that works, I guess. So in this case, we're seeing them get better. We're seeing during the time skip. That's the filler arc that they're running. It's really fun. Also, if you care about, and I do, and maybe you do, maybe you don't. If you care about female characters that have stuff to do that is not wait around to be saved. There is sometimes where female characters and male characters need to be saved. But also, there are badass, incredibly capable characters in this show that happen to be women. On the team, on the other side, complex characters. There are fragile characters, but they're not all fragile characters. Noelle probably should be the main character of the show because she rules and her storyline is compelling and she is going through the hero's journey on her own because a lot of the characters are going through a journey. I would say the least interesting character is probably Vanessa because her basic character choice is to act slutty and be a drinker, but she has a tragic story and she goes through some personal changes and you learn a lot about her. And some of the characters are there for comic relief, but also you feel for them and you care for them. And I just think overall, it's a story about like found family, and it is awesome. Oh yeah, Lord Stockton says, Marilona is my desktop background because hell yeah, yes the Crimson Lion siblings, basically the family there, are incredible and should be the leads of their own badass violent, bloody anime. So that's what I like, because we're going to talk about a show later that I'm just bummed about how they treat their female characters, because oh boy, it's a fucking mess. It's messy and a mess. But as for a shonen, like no, like Sakura has her moments in Naruto, but imagine if she had more of those moments. Imagine if she had a lot more of those moments. Imagine if Hinata had a lot more of those moments. Uh, Imagine if all of them had way more badass, cool, oh, this rules moments. And Black Clover gives you that. So I'm big on that. Um, I am not watching season 2 of this anime, the Supernatural Bureau of Supernatural Investigation. I didn't watch the first season. I've heard nothing about it. None of my friends are watching it, so I'm not. I am not watching the short chibi, short form comedy strip based on the Pretty Derby, because I did not I stopped watching after like 2 episodes. The Pretty Dirty anime, I should say. So I'm not watching the goofy one, the joke one. It's a slice of life about it. Maybe I'd like that more, but no. Here's the next show, the returning show, The Juggernaut, one of my favorites. It's a slice of life, and we don't have enough of those, honestly. It's Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater. Is that a good name for an anime? Probably not. Do I really love it? Yes, I do. Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater is awesome. It is a slice of life about a high school after-school club. 4 ladies, young ladies, fishing. You've got your capable, your lazy but knowledgeable senior. You're incredibly capable but quiet, reserved sophomore. And you've got your spunky freshman who can't wait to go and do it. And, well, oh, look, her childhood friend, coincidentally, got roped up to being in the club. Hina, who wanted to join the crafting club and is now in the fishing club, the embarkment club. The thing about Hina is she's afraid of big fish and kind of grossed out by it and kind of doesn't want to be in the club, which is, for a slice of life, shocking. It feels like the first episode is maybe more like a sports anime. You know, where like the person reluctantly, like, is kind of like through bet or whatever is indoctrined into a thing and then realizes how much they love it and can appreciate it and enjoy it. That's this first episode. Yomamushi Pedal, like, he's trying to start an anime club. He's not looking to join the biking club. He's not as furthest from his mind. That's kind of like this. And so people that like slice of life is their thing might look and go, whoa, what's up here? But I would say once the first episode's over, it opens up into a wild, wonderful show that is totally worth checking out. This last episode that just aired, The Return, because it went on hiatus, it was a spring show that went on hiatus due to COVID, is back now with episode 4. And episode 4 is just like 2 simple little easy stories. It's cute, it's fun. I think you'll like all the characters. I do not know why Strike the Blood is scheduled twice here on this. Strike the Blood does not have a... Right? What is that? We got going on here. Yeah. Strike the Blood, that's just their webpage. Sorry about that. I shouldn't have opened that. Hold on. I gotta go back here. Sorry. Shouldn't have clicked on that. That was my fault for clicking on that. There we go. Okay, we're back into it. We got it again. Strike the Blood is 4. I believe this is original stuff because that's the original show, or this is the OVA. Anyway, it doesn't matter because no one's watched in the US. I watched the first season of this, and it's fine. It's a bit too edgy for me because I think it's like a little exploitative and not fun, so I'm not watching that. The fifth season of Neko Neko Nyoshi. I'm not currently watching that. I do not know what that is. But it is the fifth season, so hell yeah, good for them. I assume that it is about cats, cat priests, Shinto cats maybe, and it is for kids. Also for kids, maybe no, not for kids. Maybe not. Okabe's Yuhan, not available in the U.S. In any subtitle form. Adaptations of the monster picture book by people. The series illustrates various monsters and spirits and explains why they are scary. Okay, so I'm going to go for kids because this looks like a kid show, right? Another kid show. Apparently, a lot of kid shows come out on Tuesdays. This is the fourth season of a Chinese show that I have watched clips of and seems kind of cool. It seems like a very generic, like, school of learning magic. This is a computer-generated one that is a Chinese show. These are all Chinese shows. Lots of them. And then, I don't know anything about Fei Renza 3, other than it is the sequel to Fei Renza 2, which, great, thank you. You can tell these are, generally, you can tell these are Chinese shows because they have no description. All right, Wednesday. So here are the shows that came out today at the time of this recording. Another Chinese show I don't know anything about. An ongoing basketball show about a guy who's short but great at basketball, who his school doesn't have a team anymore, so he's going to make a team, and they're going to figure something out. I'm not watching it. They're up to episode 41. Sounds great. I know some people that like it. I will say, even though I am looking forward to Haikyuu, not really a sports anime guy. Just not my thing. So we'll move on to a show that I am currently watching. Just watched the third episode today on Crunchyroll. It is called Gibiate? I don't know. This is not a good anime. One, the plot sounds like maybe it would be cool, where it is in the near future, and there is a disease that is turning humans into giant monsters that are that are computer generated and look bad against the traditional style looking animation. That they're CG against the digital animation. They're definitely done by a different company, outsourced, and the monsters all look terrible. The monsters look terrible. So if you watch a preview of this, you watch a trailer of this, it's like, ugh. A samurai and a ninja who are being exiled from their villages instead get sent to the future. Now, in this latest episode, which just aired today at the time of this recording, there's a new dude in town from the past, and he seems, I don't know, all right. There's the main girl named Kathleen. She's trying to figure it out. There's a doctor that seems like might double cross them at any time. The opening lets me believe, and also in this photo, lets me believe that there is a purple-haired lady with weapons. Oh no! Joe Kim, hello! I said, oh no, we're being raided with a party of 40. So that's why I said, oh no, not that Joe Kim is raiding us. Hello and welcome. Hi everybody, I'm Pat Baer. I'm recording an episode for my YouTube series, Pat Baer's Anime Club. So we're in the just chatting category because there is no category on Twitch for anime, which is probably for the best, but in this case is just what's up. But yes, welcome everybody. Thank you for the follow, Anime Kitty. I appreciate that very much. I'm basically talking about the summer season. And We're not super far in. Layer Lore, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. We're not too far into talking about it. I will say I'll give you a brief preview or review of what we've been talking about. Black Clover is great if you're looking to marathon an anime show that you have not checked out and you like shonen where women get to do stuff and get to be characters, and there's only one that feels a little bad instead of all of them. I would recommend Black Clover because it's a pretty fun one, and there's 136 episodes out there, plus a couple bonus things, so you can do okay. Diary of Our Days at Breakwater was back after it was off in the spring hiatus. I love it. Lovely slice of life show. Get through the first episode where it feels like she's being taken advantage of, because by the second episode she is loving it. Which sounds bad when I'm talking fast, but that is what's happening. Twitch Plays Anime would get dark real quick. Fish gutting. There is murder of fish. Fish are caught and murdered, which is also like a lot maybe for a. Here's the thing. Not all slice of lives are chill. Some slice of lives are sad. This one's not sad, but it's also like, it's not Flying Witch. It's not the chillest. It's not Laid Back Camp, okay? It's not the chillest of all chill slice of life shows. Basketball show, I'm not watching that. Gimete, I don't think it's good. I do not think that this show is good, but I am watching it. But I don't think other people should. I'm mostly there for the idea of samurais and ninjas, or samurai and a ninja fighting humans that got turned into monsters that are CG very poorly. You might be watching ReZero, Starting Life in Another World. I'm currently not watching ReZero, Starting Life in Another World Season 2, because I did not enjoy Season 1. But I also understand that this show is very popular, that people really like it, so I am not yucking any yum. I will be talking about, through the course of this, shows that you will not like, that I think rule. Yes, I don't think it's good, but I'm watching is very 2020. Yes. Season 1 is a lot. ReZero is very not my jam. Yeah. But I'm going to be talking about a couple shows here that I'm going to strongly recommend, with the caveat that, like, you won't like this, but I think it's really fun. So I get that. That's the thing. There's a couple shows coming up. There's a new season of a show that my friends are really excited for. And I watched the first season of that show, and I was like, I do not like this. I want to punch this man. I do not want him to grow and change. I would like to just be done with this. We'll get to that. But yeah, it might not be your jam. We got some more shows. As I said, Annie Chart is going to tell us things. Oh, we got to talk about one more. They're going to show us some things that aren't even available here, but are out, and also some shows that are airing in China. Decadence. I have not watched the new episode that came out today, so I'll admit that. That wasn't ReZero, no. Decadence is a show that is an original series, and I think it looks beautiful, and the more I learn about it, the more I'm like, wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? It's there's a lot going on, and I think it's pretty good. I would say if you only watch the first episode, you are probably doing yourself a disservice, and you should at least watch the second episode to decide if you want to continue watching the show or not. Some say you have to give it 3 episodes. I feel like episode 2 answers some questions and presents a bunch more, enough that you might be interested in watching more of it. Mainstream anime can be good. Oh yeah, of course. Duds, certainly. We're going to get to that, Anime Kitty. Yeah, we'll talk about that when it gets there. Everyone I know is super taken by Decadence. Yeah. Yes, Chihuahua Pugs. The twist in episode 2 is totally worth, I think, sticking around for. Because you're like, oh, that's what this show is? And, like, that's totally worth checking out. I have not been watching my love, Queen's Choice, because one, I don't know where the sci-fi comes in. Uh, but it's there's a conspiracy. Yeah, this is based on an Otome game, and hey, I love the idea of anime based on Otome. That sounds great. But yeah, I was like, I don't. Girl's trying to save her father's company. There's a bunch of dudes that she could date, and then also a mystery. And I was just like, meh, I don't know. But here's the thing: I have chosen to skip shows in the past, and then if somebody really starts going like, hey, you know what's really fucking good? Mr. Love, Queen's Choice. And I'd be like, really? Okay. But also sometimes there are shows out there that you don't have to watch everything. Unremarkable as far as Otome go. Yeah, that's the thing. In general, the idea, one of my favorite shows of the spring season was an isekai based on an Otome. Like, it's like, like a girl is living out a character in a game that she had played. And that was a great postmodern isekai. A lovely take. A return to form in some ways, but paying attention to what modern isekai often are. But giving us a female lead and giving us the twist that she is the villain of the story. Man. My Next Life as a Villainess was so fun. It maybe didn't stick to landing 100. I wouldn't give like the last episode like an A+, but I'll give the whole show an A- for sure. That was my very first isekai that I ever enjoyed. Anime Kitty, yeah. I mean, I think it just tried something different. You might like Anime Kitty. Didn't I say to make my abilities average in the next life, which is a bit of a comedic take on the premise of being reborn. And it's 4 female adventurers, one of whom has had a second life and is way overpowered. And she would want to live a quiet life, but she's not getting that quiet life. And it's kind of silly and fun. That's a really fun isekai because it is in some ways a throwback. It's another one of these kind of modern ones. I've moved to Sentai and Kamen Rider. Yes. Yeah, it's a strange trip. That's a great way of putting it. Yeah, there's a whole language with that. Mile. Yeah, Mile is great, the main character. And didn't I say to make my abilities average the next life? Because she did. And she was. The thing is, she's not an average human. She's the average between the weakest person in that world and the strongest elder dragon in that world. So she's the strongest human, basically. And there's other things that are stronger than her, but nothing she's running into. I read a bit of it, wasn't very impressed with the light novel. Yeah, I think the show might win you over because it's got some humor to it. And it's a bit self-aware of the tropes that it's presenting, but it's not like a parody of isekai. It's just a self-aware isekai. I don't know. I like this postmodern era of isekai that we're in right now. I do. Okay, so tomorrow. Now, for me, I'm not watching anything that comes out on Thursdays. Maybe you have something you're watching. We'll talk about a couple. I do want to point out Egg Car because it is a children's program. It is not available here in the United States. I don't know anything about Egg Car except the name of the show is Egg Car. And I don't, that's enough for me that it's called Egg Car. I just think that's great. We've got the reboot of Astro Boy Go, or Go Astro Boy Go. That is not available here right now. I've heard mixed things about that. Egg Car. It's just a good name for a kids program. Now, you might think that if you know me, and some of you don't know me because Joe Kim brought you here, which is great, you might not know that I build model kits. This stream is actually mostly a build stream. I build Gunpla and Lego sets, and then once a week I do something else, which is what's happening now. But if you do know that, you might be surprised to know that I am not watching Gundam Build Divers Re-Rise second season. And that's just for the simple fact that, like, I don't particularly like the Build series. I appreciate that it is kid focused. I appreciate that it is attempting to bring in a new audience while also paying service to Gunpla fans of the past. Oh, we got here. I got a new follow. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate that. But I like the kits that come out of it. I build the kits from the show, but I'm not thrilled about watching it. Returning from the spring season is the Millionaire Detective Balance Unlimited, which is, it stopped. It's based on a novel, and hey, what if Batman didn't have a secret identity and he was more of an asshole? I watched the first episode of this and was furious. I was so mad that I have not watched any other episodes past the first episode. But the first episode, I was just like, I hate this guy. He's not going to get nice. I'm siding with the support character. I don't want to watch this show about a millionaire. Also, he's definitely not a millionaire. He's a billionaire or more. He has unlimited funds. He's definitely worth more than $1 million or a couple $1 million. With wild disregard for human life. Yeah, I was just like, look, there is a character there with some sort of rocket launcher, grenade, whatever. I was intrigued. This guy looks kind of cool. I was intrigued. But after the first episode, I was like, no thanks. Balance Unlimited. Yeah, so he can spend all the money he wants. No Guns Life. Season 2 is out. I did not enjoy Season 1 and actually dropped the show. So I'm not looking to watch Season 2. I'm actually really surprised that it's out this soon because I feel like Season 1 was like last year. Oh, it's the second core. Okay. So they just took a break in between. That makes sense. So this is just, they're calling it Season 2. It is the continuation of Season 1. That way it makes way more sense because I felt like it came out, like I feel like the first one was out like last year and I was not watching it. Here is a show that I have friends who really like. I am not watching it. And that is called My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu Climax. This is the third season. It's love comedy is also what it's known as. Hachiman. This is the Hachiman show. If you watch a lot of anime clips on YouTube, you have probably come across a clip of the show at some point. Look, I understand this dude makes a lot of decisions, and now he has to live with that as he's trying to become a better person in his high school. But, like, I don't give a shit about Hachiman. I'm not interested in that show, so I'm not going to watch the third season. But I know people that really like it. They really like the comedy, drama, romance, characters trying to better themselves, high school thing, and I get it. It's just not for me because the main character just feels insufferable and like, nah, like I don't know. Another show. This is the third season of a show that is I believe a Chinese show as well. Got a few more of those things that I don't know nothing about. That's a hard sell for me. Yeah, because the thing is, I understand characters that are like tsundere, right? Like, I don't love tsundere, but I think done well, tsundere can be fine because it's generally very obvious that, oh, this character is acting like this because of their own insecurities, or they are definitely pretending this. Okay. But characters that are just like, my default is to not be nice. And I'm okay with being the bad guy. Less interested in that. Yeah. There's so many. Oh my, yes, you nail it so much. 100%. There are so many mediocre romances with jerkwad dudes. Totally. 100%. You nailed it. I don't need that. All right, so let's look at Friday stuff here. I don't know that show. That show's not licensed. I don't know anything about it. Um, I'm not watching Bakugan Armored Alliance, which is the second season of Bakugan Battle Planet. I'm not watching it. Hmm. I didn't know there was comedy involved. That's cool. I am not watching the Yokai Watch anime that I don't believe is, yeah, no English for that. Uh, uh, let's just take a moment. What ecosystem catalog things you say? Oh, you can just ask me. I'm using AnyChart. We'll scroll back up here because I can go back down. AnyChart is they are associated with my anime list and AnyList. But yeah, if you just look up AnyChart, you can log in with your information from my anime list. You can go by seasons. You can click airing, which we're looking at airing, and they do a list form here like this, or more detailed. This is a great resource from like knowing what's coming and what's out there, and then doing your due diligence with like, okay, let me go to Crunchyroll or whatever. But it'll also tell you like where it's streaming or if it has a YouTube channel, stuff like that. Sometimes they take a little while to update that. Oh, no problem. I appreciate that. I keep watching Bakugan, hoping it'll tell me how to play. Yin Dark, also hi, buddy. I don't think it's ever going to tell you how to play. Since another streamer, Beej, showed this off, I use it every season for upcoming shows. Yes, Beej Dairy from Loading Ready Run. I knew about this before, but he's the one that told me about because.moe. Because.moe. You can just, it only works, I believe, in Canada, the UK, Australia, and the US. But you can set your region and then type in an anime, and it'll tell you if it's streaming on Funimation, YouTube. Sometimes the YouTube links are outdated, but Funimation, Crunchyroll, Hulu, their own YouTube channel. It doesn't list that new one, Retro Crush, right now. Apparently, they're going to start adding Retro Crush to it. Because.moe. It's a great resource. Cooking with Valkyries. I don't know anything about this. This looks like it is computer generated stuff here. Comedy slice of life. Does not have a release here. So, Shin Chan still running. Oh, Doraemon. I wanted to say this about Doraemon. That's where I got thing. 2005. It's still running since 2005. Obviously, this is the relaunch of Doraemon. I just love that. I think that rules. That show's been running for 15 years, plus all the other ones. Also, we can look at Shin Chan, which is episodes 1083. Just think about that. How long? Like 1083 episodes of Shin Chan. Unbelievable. Still 5 years old. Unreal. I don't know what this is, and they didn't even bother to give me much information about it. I don't know. This looks cool. I don't know what Ling Long is, but it looks cool. Okay. Here's another. You might be watching this. I'm not. Oh, we'll check what's going on here. Did you get to Fire Force? No, not yet. We will talk about Fire Force. Look, I will talk about Fire Force when we get to Fire Force. We started with Tuesday. We will get to Fire Force. Don't worry about it. I have thoughts. That looks like an ONA. Yes. Although it's sequeling look. So, a Pararanman. I was hyped for this show. The idea of a turn of the century cross-country rat race style anime, I was on board for it. Crazy inventor, goofy, crazy, whatever. Goofy inventor, unlikely friendships, going to where they need to go, doing what they need to do. I was like, this sounds cool. I watched the first episode and I was like, okay. I watched the second episode and I was like, maybe not. and it went away for a hiatus, and now it's back, and I haven't watched it. I think the art looks really cool. I think that some of the racial and country stereotypes, broad stroke stereotypes, are not fun. And I think we'll leave it at that. This is a show I might marathon when it's over. I might try to push through because I do think that some of the art looks cool. But yeah, I'm not really feeling it. I am feeling this one. I'd say keep an eye out. It's definitely, yeah, might be fun. Yeah. Okay. Usaki-chan wants to hang out. So, this is, I'm surprised that the AniChart people are not ranking this higher. Because this is one of my favorite shows of the season. Now, I know what you're saying. Pat, it says comedy and ecchi. Well, let me be the first person to tell you, despite how young this character in this photo looks, Usaki-chan looks, she is a sophomore in college. She just is kind of young, but not like whatever. This is a show about a college student who is reunited with her senpai for when they were on the swim team. They were in a swim club together. And he looked out for her, and she thought he was cool and fun. And she gets to college and finds out, oh, this dude's a loner. He's got resting bastard face. So, like, people don't love the ecchi doesn't put me off, the characters do. I understand that, anime kitty. He's got that. He's got that thing where, like, it shows up in a lot of sometimes romance shows. Certainly, the main guy. Oh, what's wrong with him? Well, he just looks mean. He just mean mugs, and he doesn't mean to do it, and people are kind of put off by him. He also is a loner, and she's trying to change that. And it's just them interacting, and occasionally it's like there was a thing where she was like stuck in a bush, and it wasn't funny to me. But there's some other stuff I think is genuinely really sweet. There is a very sweet moment in the previous episode where she's looking after him. There's also his boss. He works part-time at a coffee house, and he's really interested in their dynamic because they're very aggressive, argumentative. She's a fangirl, which is not evident in this photo over here, but she is a fangirl, and she's just got like a sneaky part of personality because she is kind of like, she is making fun of him, but like it's playful. And I just think that it's a really fun show, and it is... it's aware of what it is. That's what I should say. It is aware that it is like college students, and like it is like that thing of like them. They aren't aware of it. Maybe she's not necessarily aware of her feelings, or she doesn't necessarily particularly have them at the moment. He's all too aware of what other people think, but not necessarily aware that like, oh yeah, I think she's pretty great. I've seen folks nope out due to the dynamic. Yeah, see, the thing is, to me, I think the dynamic is really fun. I think this like playful, argumentative nature they have is quite engaging. I don't know. As I said, your mileage may vary. Yeah, yes, totally. For me, anyway, this is a cute, fun show, and it's one that I really look forward to. I am occasionally watching a certain scientific railgun, the new season. The second half of the third season just started up again. They had a hiatus, and then they finished off the first story, and they took another break, which was an intended break. I cannot tell you whether or not you should get into any of the scientific or magical shows. They intertwine, and they overlap, and there's also there's a third series now that was just one season, but that took place years ago. But it's been on for so long and had so many seasons that like when they show events now, they look different than when they did then, just because art is different, and animation quality, in my opinion, has gone up in this show. So I can't tell you to get into it. I would say there are YouTube videos dedicated to watch orders, which I don't necessarily agree with, but they're dedicated to like trying to get you up to speed on what's going on in this show. I think Index appeals a little bit more to me. Magical Index appeals a little more because I do like the idea of a guy whose only ability is he can cancel out or stop people's abilities, and he is very put upon. And I kind of like that. Although I do think that some of the characters in the show, there's a really good supporting cast in the show. Yes, Christian, I'm doing Pat Bear's Anime Club live. Welcome, welcome. This will go up on my YouTube channel on Monday. But yeah, I've been kind of going day by day through the shows that I'm watching. Anime Kitty, it's a little bit like Eraserhead. Basically, his right arm negates magical and supernatural and sci-fi abilities, and also religious-based abilities, because magic in the form of church is a lot of that. And yeah, he's real good at that. And then a thing happened in this season that was bonkers. It's wild how it returned like 13 years later, like it never left. Yeah, it's just a strange thing. It's like they're intertwining, and like you'll see events over and over again in the different shows, and like I respect it. I'm going to call it superheroes. It's got an X in it because Super Exeros. I mean, I'm not watching this. Your mileage may vary, as we said, but I don't want to watch this show. You can't make me. H energy. Nah. They feed on human sexual energy. Like, nah. This feels like, no thanks. You can't trick me, anime. No thanks. The premise needs the ecchi tag, right? I'll warm up. The comedy is kind of fan service. At least there's some. Okay. Yeah. Totally. If you like watching bad ecchi, yeah. No, this just I was like, nah. Food Wars. So here's the thing. The series, the fourth plate, because this is the fifth plate, this is the fifth series. The fourth plate ends. I'm gonna give you. That was Railgun. Yes, there is some stuff that's not great in Railgun. I totally agree with you. There's some stuff that is not cool and not great and a fucking problem. You're totally right. Food Wars. The fourth season, they win, y'all. They win. They defeat the big bad. There's a bunch of redemptions. A bunch of characters grow and change and have huge, awesome moments. Soma is the number one. He's ranked number one in the school. We've got a new headmaster of the school, and everything's working out. And it kind of ended, and maybe should have, because Christian, this dude, the main villain, sucks. Like, he sucks. Like, I understand you were abandoned by your master so that he could go live a regular life. But the whole idea of... So the premise of this season is there's a competition that Soma's dad washed out of. He didn't go to because he had his breakdown about cooking. So Soma's going to go. And there's some other characters that are going to go. And one of the characters runs a loose collection of underground, like, underworld chefs. Like the chefs that, like, don't play by the rules. And they all look lame as shit. Like the creator of the show and the manga ran out of cool ideas. Their uniforms are awful. Their individual characters are lame as shit. And now there's going to be this tournament, and everything. The deck is it's stacked against them. He's going to beat the guy that beat him, that beat his father, that took his father's last name, so he's kind of his brother, but not really. There's a marriage thing that might have to happen. But yeah, this guy is lame as hell, and this season doesn't feel necessary. Uh, uh, Character creator, yeah, they look like people that Joey Wheeler beat very early on in Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, oh, you got to fight your way, duel through the city. They feel like characters that are there for 5 minutes. There's like, oh, girl, lady in military clothes, and like old man bartender, and like punk, and you're like, no, none of you are cool. But yeah, they look like they're getting beat by Joey real early on. All right. Uh, so Bungo and Alchemist, Gears and of Judgment. This show was a spring show that went on hiatus and is back. Um, it is based on a mobile game, I believe. It's a video game. I don't know if it's mobile or not. I didn't watch this in the spring. I have not watched it now. The animation looks terrible, and the villains of the show are called Taints. Rent a Girlfriend is a show I'm not currently watching, but I have friends who really like it. Uh, yeah, Mudon. The Taints. It's an evil force called the Taints. By the Taints, an evil force. Rent a Girlfriend is a show I'm not currently watching. This is a show that I could be, I could be convinced. The clips I've watched, I'm like, meh, meh. It seems like one of those shows where like lies get compounded by other lies, and the easy way out is to just like take the fall for the one lie, but instead they add a bunch of other ones, and I'm just like, nah. I hope they don't have a mascot. Yeah, they're tainting literature. Yeah. So I don't know. Rent a Girlfriend. That could be. I don't. The clips I saw, I was like, meh. I don't know. I feel like I should watch Rent a Girlfriend. Christian, it's one of those shows like I'm like, I might watch one episode, but the previews I saw of it made me go like, just say that you hired her, that it's not your girlfriend. Oh, okay. Oh, no, don't. And like that's not a good. I don't want to be mad at a show. Um, I saw the video of the manga that everybody likes. Oh, okay. Um, Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Time. So this is a short series. Um, I I think I liked the premise. The MC is yet another insufferable dude, from what I can tell. Yeah. Um, yeah, I gotta like all the other characters if you're gonna give me a dude. Like, We Never Learn. That's a great dude. That dude's great. And quintessential quintuplets. That guy's not the best guy, but he is trying and he fucks up, but he is like trying to help them. And I think I need that. Uh, so I sort of like the premise of Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Time. I sort of like the premise. I don't think it's good, but I sort of like the premise. Imagine you have just won a tournament. You are now the strongest person in the world. Humans don't get that, so now you're the world's strongest fighter, and you're a human. Well, what does that mean? Well, to you it means you've now fulfilled your promise, and the woman you are betrothed to, you can be together. It also means that a lot of women in this world want to have your child because you're strong. That's the premise, and I think there might be a version of that is not bad, but this felt bad. Also, the person he's engaged to doesn't know how babies are made, which feels unnecessary in the story. Um, yes, I see genetically superior children. Yes. Yeah. No, it's there's an idea there. This is one of those shows where I'm like, why did you pick this up, Crunchyroll? Did you have to get this so you could get something else? There's another show we'll talk about that is similar in that I'm like, why do you have this? Why do you have this? I don't know how licensing anime is hard. Get Up, Get Live. I don't. This is some stuff here. Uh, I generally don't like idol shows. This seems to be a chibi like shorts of another show that exists. I hate the idea for this show. It screams demeaning women. Totally anime kitty. I totally agree with you. I like the part of being. I like the part of we don't see we see him fight a little bit. I like the idea of instead of a show where he fights to become the strongest fighter in the world, what happens next? That part of the premise I think is kind of cool. That we're not seeing the build, we're seeing the and then what? The part where it's just a lot of ladies being like, "Hey, how about this?" And you're like, "No, thanks." Fire Force season 2. So I would recommend it is a double length. It's like 26 episodes. Due to some hiatus stuff and Christmas stuff, and some delays. The fire last year as well. There were some delays, and I think it didn't get the shot that it should have deserved. I think last year was a fantastic year for shonen. Um, Mob Psycho season 2 was unbelievable. One Punch Man season 2 started rough. I think ended pretty strong. It was a great year for wrapping up One Piece. Boruto was kind of interesting in its own way. And Black Clover was excellent. Had some of the best fights of the show was last year. So I think last year, and then of course My Hero Academia, fantastic year for that show. So I think Shonen was really strong. There are people that like that one that's based on the French comic book whose name I can't remember that I don't think is that good. But yeah, My Hero Academia, yeah, totally. There was so much strong Shonen. And then there's Fire Force. Oh, Demon Slayer. I forgot Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer was incredible. And also part of that heartfelt thing. In similar, Radiant. Thank you, Christian. Yeah, some people like Radiant. I don't think Radiant's that great. But some people like it. Fire Force kind of was under the radar. Fire Force has really great intros and outro songs for the first season. And tells a lovely story that's similar to Demon Slayer. You just got a good boy that's just trying to do good. I mean, this dude has a lot. Shinra has a lot going bad for him, and he's just fucking trying his best. And he's with some really great people. I do have friends who liked it, and I hate how Maki is treated. Yes, yeah, that's the thing about this show. You know, I was talking about how Black Clover has cool ladies that get to do stuff. Ladies don't get to do anything but murder people in this show. If you want some mean ass ladies, Fire Force is the show for you. We got the man hater character that is now just lovey dovey. That sucks. The character whose personality quirk is that her clothes come off. That sucks. The character who's really strong and seemingly very capable, but overreacts is the best possible. And then, the sister, who doesn't get to do anything and isn't really there to do anything, is important but doesn't get to do anything. Then there's the minor character who has been manipulated this whole time, because of course she has. And then by the end of it, a female character who, as a child, said about the tragic events of the story. And then season 2 is also, there's this spiritus woman that is causing lots of problems. And also, we introduced a new character who's a woman who is, at best, mentally unsound. And that's just going to be the whole fucking show. Um, Samurai Champloo, yeah. Uh, except for that girl that keeps getting nude. That's what I'm saying, Christian. Christian, there's a capable character that her weird thing about her is it's very frustrating because I think that Shinra is part of this uh, wonderful, very cool uh, um, evolution in good boy, like protagonist, like learning, striving to be better protagonist in shonen. Shinra, Deku, obviously, your Demon Slayer. You've got, even like I don't know. There's other examples. It's not them, but like Shinra is part of that. Like Asta's just trying to be a good boy, trying to do good stuff. It's rough. So Christian, to me, it's a bummer that the next big character here is like they're saying like, oh, she's going to play both sides. She doesn't want either side. No. She's going to turn out to be a villain. She's going to be a villainous character. With Fire Force and Shinra needs to fly. Yes. Last episode incredibly good, but they have to waste a lot of time on the girl getting nude. Yes. Yeah, they just they're really into all of their jokes, and their jokes are bad. Because there's some really fun characters, and I think the story is really cool and interesting, especially as a shonen. And it's a fucking bummer. It's kind of a bummer, and folks that watch my streams know that I talk about the shows that I'm watching as they air, basically. So for Saturday, I talk about the shows that I watched since the Thursday stream, basically. So Friday and Saturday stuff. And then on Monday, I talk about the shows that came out on Sunday and Monday. But Soul Eater has a lot of characters that play both sides all the time. Yeah, you're totally true, Christian. Mainly, I'm just like, I don't think that they're going to focus on the trauma that this girl experienced in a way that is going to be interesting. I think it's just going to be like, oh, she's living for danger, and she's not going to be redeemable. But she's thick, so I don't know. I'm kind of down on Fire Force. But what I was saying basically was, I have 4 shows I talk about on Saturdays, and Fire Force is the one I watch generally right before the stream because I'm putting it off because I'm not as interested. The other shows being Food Wars and Usaki Chan Wants to Hang Out, and it's a Saturday show is the next one we're talking about. Misfit of Demon King Academy. History's strongest demon king reincarnates and goes to school with his descendants. So that's the name of the light novel. The anime is just called The Misfit of Demon King Academy. I did want to say real quick, some of Case Closed is available on Netflix, on Hulu, and Crunchyroll. I think Case Closed, I love that they're still making it. Go, Case Closed, go. Detective Conan, I think that's great. I'm not watching it. Also, I have heard no one I know has said anything positive or negative about Lapis Relights. That fantasy and music, and I was just like, nah, I don't know. But we're going to talk about Demon King. Let's talk about the Misfit of Demon King Academy. And I understand why you would say, Pat, I'm not going to watch that show. I don't like shows when the main character is overpowered and cocksure. And to that I say, you're right. But, other side of it, do I love that this character who is, existed before and has been reincarnated, and he's hanging out with 14-year-olds on their verge of their 15th birthday? I don't love that part. I don't love that part as much. Do I like a quiet, fun little character and the brassy character? Oh, Finray just subscribed. Thank you so much, Anime Me Pat. Well, thank you for the 6 months. I appreciate that. Um, uh, it is. Yeah, I don't love the fact that they're 15 part as much. Um, but Finray, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that very much, my friend. Um, but I like that he's growing. I also like that they spent so much time with these characters. Now, that could be we're now done with these supporting characters, these sisters, but the fact that they spent a lot of time with the support characters of your main character in a show that is kind of non-traditional for a show that is focused on a overpowered character that is just kind of just going through life. So I like that. And there's flashes from the opening about other characters. I'm interested in that. I will say the last episode that aired, this last episode, episode 4, the main character, the voice actor for the main character, sang the theme song in character, and I think that's very fun to do early in the show. Yeah, I think so, Anime Kitty. I'm interested. I think that the show has promise. I like an overpowered main character show, as I said. You know, I it's the thing I like about Isekai less than the some of the other elements of Isekai. That just being like, I don't know, what do you do with these powers? And he's just like, learning stuff, and he's only existed in this body for a month, but he like has an attachment to his parents because he was born in he took over the body of a baby born to very joyful, loving, naive but wonderful human parents, and so he's like, oh, all right, oh, they would be sad if they didn't live in the city I'm living in. Okay, I'll move them. Like I don't know, there's something about it. I appreciate it and I enjoy it. It might not be your cup of tea. It is my cup of tea. Um, Speaking of not my cup of tea, Sword Art Online Alicization War of the Underworld Part 2. So, Sword Art Online. I watched the first season. I watched the second season and the second half. I haven't watched any of Alicization, but I have watched everything but. And also I watched the spin-off show, the Gun Gale Online spin-off. I watched most of that. I got sick of that. I got tired of that. This season is pretty good. Yeah, I think I got everything I wanted out of the show, especially because the last season felt like it didn't need to exist. And in large part, that show always feels like that to me, because if you like a character, at best they get half a season to be awesome, and then they just become another character, another supporting character. You're like, oh, you are rad in this part of the show. Now you are not rad anymore. You are support. Oh, you are rad here. You are not rad anymore. Now you are support. Because if you're not Kiryu, you only get a half season to be awesome. And I just kind of got sick of that. I watched the entirety of season 1. This is the sort of superpower main character that bores me. Yeah. So Anime Kitty, I think it does get better. Him playing a different game is interesting. And meeting other characters, I think, is interesting. There's a story for some other characters that are there's a half season where Kiryu is not the main character of the show, and I think that's really interesting. And it's also like one of the most emotional seasons of the show. But overall, I think it's also we don't get modern isekai without Sword Art Online, even though it's not an isekai. This merging of the fantastic, overpowered main character and the different world that unlike the others, you don't really get Overlord and you don't get Log Horizon, but then you also don't get the rash of isekais out of light novels. I think Sword Art Online did that, and now we're dealing with the postmodern. But modern is rough. Yeah. So Christian, basically, they're doing what the plot of the movie, but it's for someone they like, so it's okay. Okay. Because I think that was the plot of the movie was a character we never saw, someone trying to recreate that person with the memories that everyone had of her. If I remember correctly, that was the plot of that movie. And so they're just doing it as the show. Okay. I talked way more about Sword Art Online, Alicization War of Underworld Part 2 than I thought I would. Uh, oh, the plot of the movie is stealing the memories. You're right. It's stealing them. This is different. Uh, yeah, Anime Kitty, I think it totally does. And I think that there are shows that try to be different. But also, if we didn't have that flush of isekais, we wouldn't have the postmodern isekais that we have now. And I like that. I don't know uh, if you make a show about a person being reincarnated as a spider, if you don't have a bunch of boring run of the mill isekai to then react to. Interesting, the stuff being adapted. Uh, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure if it's an older show, you would be like, ugh. Hey, did I do the same move in 2 seasons where a character is about to be assaulted, but at the last second, my hero dude shows up to save the day? Did I do that twice in 2 different seasons with 2 different characters? Yeah, you did, dude. You definitely fucking did that. Yikes. I'm not watching the new Digimon. If you're watching the new Digimon, fuck yeah, enjoy that new Digimon. Um, I'm just not watching it. I was never a Digimon person, but I respect it. Yeah, Anime Kitty, he saves the day from someone who was about to be assaulted twice. Twice. Assaulted or murdered or both. Yay! Yeah, Digimon. Hell yeah, Digimon. Enjoy it. Uh, hey, I'm watching One Piece, and I'm not gonna tell you to watch One Piece. I'm gonna tell you this current season right now, the Wano arc, the current storyline, is good. It's fun, but like, I can't tell you to watch One Piece. I like it. There was some bad filler right before this arc, but right now it's good, and especially in this very moment, because Luffy doesn't have is just can fight and everybody gets to fight, and it's been pretty kind of cool. Uh, yeah, I thought that said heckin' pretty. Yeah, so I don't know anything about Healing Good Pretty Cure. I just know that a couple of my friends lost their goddamn minds about it, and I still don't know anything about it. I don't know what it is. I know that people are real psyched about it. Toei makes it. That's great. This is the Toei block here. Uh, Great. I hope it rules. Uh, Also, there's not a lot of magical girl stuff out there. One of the last magical girl shows was like a couple seasons ago. Well, so there's been some like the Magica problem. We're gonna tell postmodern magical girl stories. Now they all have to be grim dark. So you get magical girl shows that are like, but it's fucked up, right? And you're like, okay. So this is a throwback in many ways, I think. So that's cool. It's just it's not my thing. Uh, oh yeah, fighting kids cartoon villains with silly gags. Yeah, that sounds fun. Because yeah, the postmodern like the stuff that happened with Puyo Puyo Magica, like it's just now all of them have to be grim dark, and they don't all have to be grim dark. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I haven't been checking it out. Let's see, Digimon, One Piece. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Um, this doesn't have an English release. Something about dreams and dream stones. It seems cute, but it doesn't have a U.S. release, so I don't know. Uh, oh yeah, Siphon Gear. Oh, hey, what's up? Welcome, welcome. Ian, thank you so much for the raid. This is our second raid of the night. That rules. Welcome. Hi, everybody. Thank you for the cat raid. I appreciate it. Welcome to the Bear Cave. I am generally a model kit builder and a Lego builder, but once a week I do a stream that's not that, and that's tonight. So it's often I just play Hearthstone because I like playing Hearthstone. But I appreciate all these cats. But tonight we've been talking. We've been going for like an hour and a half already. We've just been talking about the anime, the summer season. AniChart is just look that up, AniChart.net, to see stuff like this here. You can see all the stuff that's coming out. We're almost we're here. We got Sunday and Monday left, so let's talk about. Um, so I don't think the Boruto filler is good. I think Boruto filler is bad, but I think some of the main plotline stuff was pretty good. I want to say that the time travel arc was kind of cool because we got to see like Boruto dealing with young Naruto, and there's also a scene where Sasuke is trying to blend in because they're in the past, and so he wears a trench coat and a hat to disguise himself, and that's just stupid in a way that I like. Um, yeah, uh, yeah. It's just the filler because they have all these. They have like okay. So if you don't know, Boruto is Naruto's son, and he's training to be a shinobi. And a bunch of characters from that show have characters that they are, that had gotten married and they have kids. And some of the kids have powers that you would expect them to have, and others are new kids, and they spend some times with the new kids. But really, Boruto is a story of how Naruto was awesome. The show is generally like, hey, remember Naruto? He was pretty great, right? Hey, did you forget how cool Naruto was? Sasuke is awesome. He's friends with Naruto. And you're like, yeah, I get it. What if Boruto was cool? Like, what if Boruto was... What if this show was about Boruto? And it is, and I'm saying Boruto a lot. I get it. I don't know. There's some stuff I like about it. I think the filler is just not good, but I think the storyline stuff is kind of interesting. Yeah. I wouldn't recommend it. I also definitely wouldn't recommend it if you didn't watch Naruto. Do not start with Boruto. I don't think you can. I don't think you should. I don't think it's worth it. That's Boruto. Indeed. I like this as the sequel to Naruto Shippuden. It is. It is definitely the sequel. Look, I think Mitsuki is kind of a fun character. I like the idea of Orochimaru having offspring. I think that's fun. But yeah, I don't know. I will say this: they introduced a samurai character that doesn't know a lot about technology, and I'm kind of really like that. There's a samurai character in there. Also, I think the samurai always got didn't get to do cool shit because they're samurai in a ninja show, but so that's kind of fun. She learns about how awesome combo meals are. Not happy meals, combo meals. And I was like, that's kind of fun. Pokemon Journey, the series. That's pretty fun. Pokemon Journey's pretty fun. Yeah, it's Pokemon. Man, Pokemon Sun and Moon was weird, huh? That was weird. They de-aged Ash to be like a younger version of Ash. They put him in school again, or for the first time, and kind of follow the plot of Pokemon Sun and Moon, the game. But then everything he did before that was also accurate and happened, and it was like, that's weird to do both. They did both. It was weird. Yeah, I think it's it's good. I don't know. I'm into it. I'm into all the side story stuff. I think that's really fun and charming. Uh, so we don't get the like Saizan-san. Saizan-san just didn't air an episode recently, and that uh is like really surprised people because of the shutdown. Because this show has existed a very long time. I believe the main character is the only living cast member from when it started. It is the Emperor's favorite anime. Uh, uh, oh yeah, the animation in Pokemon is really solid. Yeah, Sazazan. I don't know anything about it except that like that's pretty cool. I don't know what this is. That looks like a kid's cartoon. Looks kind of fun. This is another Chinese show. They do list the Chinese shows here. I can't tell you about them. Uh, y'all, I know me. I know that like I said, I'm watching some trash this season. I'm watching some real trash. I am not gonna watch Monster Girl Doctor. I know that about myself. I'm not gonna watch Monster Girl Doctor. I appreciate that this show says that it is by Monster Girl fans for Monster Girl fans. I respect that and I appreciate it. I also thought when I saw that Spider Lady that this was just like a new version of that Monster Girl Musume show. I thought this was just like taking the characters and put them in there. I realized no, she just looks like the spider from that show. And there's also a blonde-haired horse character, Centaur. I couldn't remember Centaur. That also looks kind of similar. Um, but yeah, if Monster Girl shows are your thing, hey, Interview with Monster Girls is great. Except you have to watch interviews with Monster Girls and realize that if you're watching the Crunchyroll version, episode 13 is the OVA, not the 13th episode. It is a 12 episode series. They also put the OVA out as episode 13. It is not because that is the stuff you can maybe overlook as being fucking inappropriate in Interviews with Monster Girls, which otherwise I think is a great show that has its moments of being very inappropriate. Episode 13, the OVA, is not good, and it is not good compared to the other 12. But that's my thoughts on Interviews with Monster Girls. Monster Girl Doctor um, seems just like a thing that I'm not gonna watch. I guess I'll leave it at that. But yeah, sure. If that's your jam, enjoy your jam. Uh, I don't know why I'm still. I sort of know why I'm still watching Ninja Collection. Let me tell you about Ninja Collection. It's not good. No, I'll tell you a little bit more about Ninja Collection. Ninja Collection is 4 minutes and change with a closing song. It is a short. It is loosely. It is a spin-off of the Yamashiba series, which is the ghost stories, the ghost folklore anime. That was an anthology of taking some classic and some modern horror stuff and adapting into an anime. Um, so this is the idea is that there are monsters and bad stuff in this world, and this group of shinobi are going to take care of them. You don't get to see them do ninja shit. You don't get to see them do anything. It's just a couple minutes of creepy with the weird art style, um, and it's just like it's basically like scary stories to tell in the dark, like premises, and it's very truncated. And I don't think it's good, but it also is only 4 minutes. Uh, that was my first thought. How do you spin off Yamashiba and why? So basically, yeah, it's the idea is that like there's a girl working late in an office building, and their phone keeps ringing, but no one's there, or it's weird. And then there's a guy outside. Oh, but that guy is inside. But then the guy that was bothering her earlier comes in, and it's like, "Are you okay?" And she goes, "Yeah." And he took care of it because he's one of the guys that takes care of it. Yeah, it's not. People hate it. I don't hate it. People are like, I hate this. I hate the art style. I think the art style is kind of neat and kind of interesting. They're like, oh, this is so cheap and whatever and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, blah. And it's like, I don't know, man. I think there's something interesting about it. But also, if it was 12 minutes, I would have given up on it. This doesn't have an anime release here. Another Academy thing for for idols. I think it's unique. Yeah, I don't know. It's worth watching, maybe. Watch the first episode. See if it feels like something you want to watch. No, it's an anthology. I don't want to... Monday shows. So Extra Olympia Clyclos started late in the spring season and then stopped and then started up again. It is a short series, short length. I would say this might be something for you to check out. I'm not watching it right now. I'm going to probably watch it when it's all done. It's weird, and it's one of the weirdest shows out right now. Like I said, it took a hiatus, but then it came back. The hiatus was pretty short. It's fucking weird, y'all. It is done like the cartoons in Monty Python. It's that style. And then there's also like a unique closing song that is like a statue and then a guy's lips moving. It is about a dude in ancient Greece, and then he comes to the future, but when he's in the future, he looks like a statue, but then in the past, he looks like himself, and it's solving problems, maybe? It's weird, but the art style is unique. It's this kind of it also, it's got a very strange art style that I really like, and I think is pretty neat, but, I can't say you should watch it. I would say investigate it. It might be up your alley. This one has not come out. This looks neat, but we don't get to watch it because it's not out here. I like the idea of a serial gag manga. Is it short? Yes, it is. They're short length. They're like 5-minute episodes. And as I said, the closing song is different. So I would maybe watch the first one because it's just weird. There's another show that I'm looking at and I'm like, this is inspired by a line sticker set. I like the idea of that. I don't know. God of High School. This might be one of those shows where by the time it's over, I'm back on board. So I started high on board with this. We got a cool opening song that is electronic dance music with a little dubsteppy, and I think the fight animation, obviously, God of High School is a fighting tournament. There's tournaments happening all over. They're high school students, but some of them clearly aren't high school students, or if they are, they've done very well for themselves while being high school students. I don't get that part, but whatever. We got high school students in there. They're fighting, doing their thing. The animation is great. Yes, the Webtoons partnership. Also, the Touch is right now. So it was a Webtoon. Now it is a Crunchyroll produced show. Because it is fighting in a tournament, all of the placards around all the things that normally would be ads for energy drinks and bitcoins derivatives are all Crunchyroll and Webtoon. The step and repeat behind them for press stuff is that, and it's around the ring instead of ads for other things or sporting goods. And I think that's really funny. That's a fun little nod. But I think the art is really cool. But then there's a cult thing happening. There's a cult church thing going on. And then also there's some sort of stand-like abilities or hunter powers or something is up. And we're learning more about that. And I don't know. Because in the first time we saw it, I was like, oh, they're being possessed and they can use that power, but sometimes they let it out. But in this last episode, he was interacting, and also he had some sort of summons shadow power going on. So there's a lot other stuff happening. It's not just a bunch of people fighting with cool art styles, and like there's a wrestler and a guy with a baseball bat, and a guy that does karate, and oof, got real violent. Uh, Last episode ended. Last episode was like, this is kind of lame. Oh, that's really fun. Oh, that's cute. Oh, fuck. Like, there's some emotions in the last episode. Oh, the wrestler. Yeah, is she in high school because she's a professional wrestling champion? I will say I'm going to nitpick here, and Ian, if you're still in chat, you can back me up on this. I, if you want to say that martial arts are real, you can't say that pro wrestling is real. You have to say that just make them an MMA fighter. The idea that it just, for some reason, as an anime and wrestling lover, like, they're like, oh, she's tough because she's a pro wrestling champion. And I'm like, no, that's not. Yes, wrestlers are tough and they go through a lot. I'm not saying that. But I'm definitely saying that I don't believe that someone who is very good at pro wrestling can beat someone who is incredibly good at a particular variant of Taekwondo. I don't know. Maybe she's a junior varsity. No, she was a pro wrestler. She wasn't an amateur wrestler. Like, she's doing stunners and has, like, a character. So, I don't know. But I thought the wrestler was cool. I like the guy with the baseball bat that's reading all the time, that he thought math, studying people and doing his research was going to help him win, and it did not. Yeah, see, I don't like that, Christian. Like, the thing that I hated the most about a anime about wrestling that came out last year that wasn't really about wrestling, but it featured a wrestler, was like, sometimes it was a work and sometimes it was a shoot, and it can't be both. They're like, oh, the pageantry of wrestling, but also wrestling is real. And I'm like, don't make wrestling real. Make wrestling what it is. Just be an MMA fighter if you want to do that. Just be a cage fighter. I don't know. That's my little rant there. But God of High School, I think, is interesting. I kind of wish it was a little less whatever is happening with the special abilities. I think the nanomachines that heal you was probably all the sci-fi I kind of wanted, but I'll see where it goes. I am not watching Fruits Basket. Yeah, where is your heel? Yeah, I am not watching Fruits Basket Season 2. I got bored of this show. I think right now it is showing its age. The beginning, to me, was great because it was a beautiful look of the art of a show that I loved years ago. It's a new version of Fruits Basket. But I think as time goes on and we started getting in, it kept going, it just feels very like an outdated story. And I just kind of lost engagement of it. For some people, this was the thing they couldn't wait for, Season 2 of Fruits Basket. They could not wait for more of this. But yeah, it's just not a show for me. Definitely a product of his era. Yeah, but I love that, like, they're making it. And that's it. The only show that I wish was back right now that did not come back from my hiatus is Gallon Dino. Gallon Dino is half animation and half live action, and the live action is obviously harder to do right now. So they took a hiatus. I believe it's coming back in October, is what they've said. Gallon Dino is weird as shit. It's on Funimation. I think 7 or 8 episodes aired before they went on hiatus. I would recommend you check out Gallon Dino. If we go back to this last season here, I guess I can do that. I can do a wrap up of last season. We'll do that real briefly. But yeah, Gallon Dino was awesome. I recommend going and finding that. Yeah, Gallon Dino is such a weird show. The live action, I think I liked the second half even better than the first. I'll give you the quick highlights. Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 2. more of a show that I really liked. Totally invested in that. Really enjoyed the second season. I think some of the episodes weren't as strong as the first season, but a character I did not enjoy in the first season, I grew to love in the second season, and that takes talent, and I really appreciate that. Oh yeah, yeah. It's I think it's the same studio that produced Pop Team Epic. It's a different vibe, but it is yeah. It's a weird one. Tower of God. I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I thought it made some choices that I think were really interesting. I do enjoy that it has a big story in mind. It's not a small story. It felt like it was a small story, but it's really a big story. Sing Yesterday for me, I binged. I do not recommend marathoning. I'm trying to say marathon instead of binge. I marathoned this. I don't recommend a drama romance as a marathon subject because it was hard, but it's good, and I wish I had watched it week to week. My Next Life is a Villainous. Best isekai since the time I got reincarnated as a slime. So good. Kakashigoto, mwah, mwah. One of the best shows of the year. Beautiful. Slice of lives don't mean that they're chill. This is not a chill slice of life. There should be drama in this tag because there is underlying sadness around all of the gags, and I think it's beautiful. Let's see. The Food Wars got postponed. Fruits Basket. Okay. Princess Connect Redive. I didn't like it. I know some people that loved it. They thought it was awesome. I couldn't get past the fact that the main dude just doesn't have a memory, and I just didn't like that. But other people did. 8 Sun. It's a standard isekai. Some of the support characters are kind of fun. They're pretty fun. We talked about that. Arte, I didn't like. I just didn't enjoy it. I think it was really slow and not that fun. I stopped watching it. Ascendance of a Bookworm. I cannot watch this show week to week. I lose interest, but marathoning it, was very happy to marathon that show. But I think week to week, I just didn't enjoy it. Listeners, no thank you. Wave, listen to me. I've heard good things about this. I still haven't watched this. I still didn't go back to this. I didn't like the art, and I didn't like the premise. Bookworm is great. Yeah, I just don't anticipate the next episode of Bookworm. Because I did the same thing in the first season. I dropped it in the first season, and then went back and marathoned it and liked it. Shiro Neko Project Zero Chronicle has a very fun opening song that's pretty pumped up and pretty cool. It is the prequel to a video game, but at first they were like, the description early on for the series everywhere was the video game plot, but it's a prequel to the video game, but also I think sucks. As I said, Dire Days of Breakwater, great. Sugamono, I didn't watch the first series, or Momo, and I didn't watch the second one. It seems kind of fun and kind of weird, but I don't know. The girls' baseball anime, I did not watch that. Gallon Dino, as I said, Gallon Dino rules. Shiro Neko is the Rage Obama. If they fluffed around, it did nothing. Gallon Dino rules. No. Sachibato, President's Time for Battle. This is based on a strategy video game and was fun. I think they flubbed some of the characters towards the end, but I think the story is interesting. I think its pacing is good. I like most of the characters a lot. Yeah. Woodpecker's Detective Agency is based on a mystery novel. And I think that I don't like anyone in that show. I was hoping that this is a bunch of dudes that are like novelists and writers, and it's based on the characters are real people. The novel is fiction, and the anime is based on the novel. Um, I was really hoping this was going to be like a real gay anime, like very gay period piece. And they want me to want that. But they're not, that's not what the show is. I stopped watching. I got tired of it. Uh, they're still making anime based on these stories. Good for them. Sakura Wars didn't watch it. Um, played the video game a long time ago. Didn't watch the anime then. Didn't watch the remake of it. Nobody is really likable, and there's a weirdly high amount of women getting fridged. Yeah, no, that's not weird, unfortunately. It shouldn't be weird. Shadowverse, baseball, uh, pretty boys, pop idol group, no thanks. A Yu-Gi-Oh show that is no. This thing, I don't know what that is. Nobody picked it up. Let's see if there's any other shows. And then, hey, why didn't we get this show? Come on, Funimation, Crunchyroll. Somebody should have picked up Gomari Jisan. It's a short about just like a flirtatious old guy. Ah, that would have been fun. We didn't get that. And then the leftover shows. Um, hey, don't watch Plunderer. Don't watch Plunderer. It's garbage. It sucks. Uh, it pulls that bullshit of it tries to do what so many shows have done, where you take a goofy, fun-loving main character that has a dark side in the past. So it's trying to do the Vash the Stampede, Rurouni Kenshin kind of thing. It's bad at that. It's incredibly bad at that. And then the underlaying thing is complicated and shitty and not good at all. Like, when you learn what's up with Vash, you're like, what the fuck? When you learn who Kenshin was and who he sometimes can be again, you're like, oh wow. When you learn what the deal is with that dude, no, no thanks. Plunderer, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was a double length show, so it ran the end of last year into this year. And it sucks. Don't worry about Plunderer. And then there was some movie stuff and some specials. BNA I liked. I finally got caught up on BNA. I liked it. Oh yeah, Baki stuff came out. So here's the thing. I love it if you love Baki. If you love Baki, man, love Baki. I can't. I can't watch it because it's just so gory and so there's just so much limb dismemberment. It's just not for me. But if that's your deal, hell yeah, enjoy your Baki. They include Baki in the O&A special stuff because this is all released at once. That's how they do that. So if it all releases at once, they include that there, which is like Dropkick My Devil Dash, the sequel to Dropkick My Devil, came out all at once. So they include that there. If it all comes out on one day, that's how they do it. That's how they do stuff. I like Baki too. Yeah. Yeah, I think I like very short clips of Baki. You know, this I haven't watched. This is the one thing I want to watch. And I haven't yet. Because I haven't been able to find anybody that did it because it's not an official license, so I might have to try to find it. But it's so there's Laid Back Camp, and then there's Heya Camp, and Heya Camp is the jokey side series in between the first and second season, and then there's one extra thing that is a Blu-ray extra that is a collaboration with the company, with a motorbike company for Rin, and that has not I have not been able to find that yet, which is part of Taya Camp / Room Camp. It's underneath, but it's a bonus. Uh, the Netflix category. Yes, indeed. But I'm saying, so Devil My Dash, or Dropkick My Devil Dash, uh, came out in Amazon Prime Japan, so it released all at once, and then they decided to release all at once on Crunchyroll. Now, what Crunchyroll did with, they didn't do that with a show that also debuted on Amazon Prime Japan, which was the Love Scientist one. That show, they released the first couple episodes all at once and then went weekly with it. They did a weird thing where they released a bunch of them at once, but they didn't release all 12 at once because that's a full length show. So I think I like that. Laidback Camp is very, very good. Science Fell in Love, So I Tried to Prove It. That's the name of the show. That show released all at once in Japan, and then they did it weekly after the first three. But yeah, I think that's going to do it of stuff. Like I said, thanks for everybody that watched this stream. We are going to go ahead and find someone to raid because we had 2 raids, so we need to share the love by finding another stream to go raid. But I'm going to end my local recording of this right now. So this has been Pat Baer's Anime Club episode 23. I'll be with you live, folks, in just a second. But if you're watching this on YouTube, hey, check out my other videos of Pat Baer's Anime Club. They're themed episodes. There's one live show that I did at PAX East that I think is really great, yelling about the shows we love. Look for a second version of that in the future. Slightly different, but similar. And check out the other stuff I do on YouTube. And I'm going to end the recording there.